This is VK3CSJ in Narre Warren South. Please stand by for this morning's WIA broadcast at 9 a.m. on 1825 kHz in the 160 metre amateur radio band. This is VK3CSJ in Narre Warren South. Please stand by for this morning's WIA broadcast at 9 a.m. on 1825 kHz in the 160 metre amateur radio band. This is VK3CSJ in Narre Warren South. Please stand by for this morning's WIA broadcast at 9 a.m. on 1825 kHz in the 160 metre amateur radio band.
This national news edition originates from VK1WIA and is rebroadcast throughout Australia and around the world under a common licence published on the WIA website. This WIA national news service is copyright to the Wireless Institute of Australia, and rebroadcast is authorised only under the provisions of that common licence. WIA Director and Company Secretary Peter Cleave, VK8ZZ.
Ging gang gooly 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 gooly, what you ging gang goo, ging gang goo, ging gang gooly 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 gooly, what you ging-gang-goo, ging-gang-goo.
From Australia, this is VK1WIA and the weekly WIA amateur radio news service on RF, internet streaming and text at wia.org.au.
Hela, shela, hela, ho.
In news this week, we will hear guides and scouts attending the 60th Endeavour Bory Regatta at Kurnell in Sydney, held over the Jamboree on the Air or JOTA weekend. However, before that, it's to our news editor Graham, VK4, VB, then the WIA Secretary, Peter Lee, VK8, Zulu Zulu, for all that's happening in the WIA boardroom. But wait, there's so much more in this edition of the news from the Wireless Institute of Australia for the week commencing Sunday, October 19th, 2025. I'm your host Paul, VK2GX, along with the JOTA team from the St George Amateur Radio Society operating the Jamboree on the Air radio station, VK2 Lima Echo, and it's a special year for us as well. This will be the 30th anniversary that SGARS has been involved with providing Jamboree on the Air at the Bory Regatta. First commenced in 1995 by John VK2 EKG. Your announcers this week, Sheridan, Pippa and Isabella from First Wattle Grove Group, and Ethan, Michael and Heather from Second Sutherland Group. Your anchor, Paul VK2GX, and producer, Graham VK4 Baker Baker.
Not a sound to be heard. We pause and remember another silent key.
We have news of a silent key. It's with a heavy heart I announce the passing of VK4ZPP Jeff Emery. Jeff's wife Dawn called me Thursday evening, October 10, to say Jeff did not make it through surgery that evening at the Hervey Bay Hospital, where he had spent several weeks. Jeff, of course, was the mainstay, the backbone of the Q News Bulletin. Q News, the local VK4 News. He was there for some 15 years, since the WIA became a national body. Without VK4ZPP's weekly contribution, and in many cases his had been that week's only contribution, Q News and a local VK4 News would have ceased many a moon ago. To Dawn, the family, to Jeff's many friends, and to the listeners of Q News and National News, we will miss him dreadfully. And as Jeff always said at the conclusion, that's what I think, how about you? Well, this time there's no thought, we will miss him. Rest in peace, VK4 Zulu Papa Papa, another silent key. In a moment, WIA Director Peter Clee, VK8ZZ, and then it's back to the Scouts for this edition of WIA National News. A little shorter this week, but stay tuned.
Thanks, Graham, and good morning, listeners. This is WIA Director Peter Clee, VK8ZZ. The board of the WIA have been working on a new web page presence for the Wireless Institute. The final product is nearing completion, and the board is seeking expressions of interest from individuals that might be interested in joining the digital content management team. The team will be responsible for website management and some content. Possibly the team may also look after social media accounts as well. Please contact me by email at the address in the text version of this broadcast if you're interested. While on the subject of information technology matters, we have had some interest from members in joining the team who will develop and manage the online e-callbook system. It is proposed to develop an online electronic callbook to replace the paper edition that was last printed in 2019. The e-callbook will run as an opt-in callbook and will initially be open to all WIA members while the development and testing is undertaken. Eventually, the e-call book will be opened up for other amateurs to be included. We are still looking for team members to be part of our e-call book development and management team. Please contact me by email at the address in the text version of this broadcast. This has been WIA Director and Company Secretary Peter Clee, VK8ZZ. Have a great weekend.
Ging gang gooly 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 gooly, what you ging gang goo, ging gang goo, ging gang gooly 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 gooly, what you ging gang goo, ging gang goo.
From the WIA, this is the weekly national news service originating from VK1 WIA.
I'm Christian from 2nd Sutherland to Armco. Operational news. JARTS WWRTTY contest is this weekend. 0000 hours UTC October 18th to 2400 hours October 19th, with bands 80, 40, 20, 15 and 10 metres. Exchange is RST plus age of operator. 1010 International CW contest also this weekend. YLRL DXNA YL anniversary contest is 1400Z October 18th to 0200Z October 20th, is a worldwide contest on CW/digital and SSB and runs this weekend. CQWW DX SSB contest 25th to 26th October. YOTA contest December. The Fisher's Ghost Amateur Radio Club are hosting the inaugural VK Yoda contest the entire month of December. Now let's open the DX window to the world. October. In the world of DX, listen for the Radio Club de Haiti, using the call sign 4V1SB through to the end of October. This is a special call sign commemorating the role that Haiti played in assisting the revolutionary efforts of Simón Bolívar, who helped win independence from Spain for many South American countries. The call sign bears his initials, SB. The 80th anniversary of the Technical University of Sofia, operating special event station LZ80 TUS on the air through to December 24th. ZL100C is the call sign celebrating the centenary of the New Zealand Association of Radio Transmitters, which was formed on the 16th of August 1926. The call sign is valid until the 6th of August 2026. QSL via the Bureau and LOTW. Team S21 SDX will be active from deep inside the Sundarbans, the largest mangrove forest in the world and a UNESCO World Heritage Site, on the 13th to 15th of November. The Sundarbans mangrove forest area is in the Ganges Delta, formed by the confluence of the Ganges, Brahmaputra and Meghna rivers in the Bay of Bengal. Organised by Bangladesh Amateur Radio Club Khulna, the event will be held and managed by young operators using the SSB and F8 on 40, 20, 17, 15, 12 and 10 metres.
Ging gang gooly 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 gooly, what you ging gang goo, ging gang goo, ging gang gooly 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 gooly, what you ging gang goo, ging gang goo.
From the WIA, this is the weekly national news service originating from VK1 WIA.
Hi, I'm Papa. I'm from First Oyster Bay. I've just got some international news here for you. India. Hamfest 2025, the annual convention of Indian amateur radio operators, was held last Saturday on the 11th at Goda Engineering College campus. The two-day event has attracted over 600 HAM operators from across India and abroad. As part of the feast, technical sessions covered topics such as satellite communication, digital media communication, radio station setup and management, antenna systems and transmitter receiving. United States of America. Edward F. E. D. Hare, W1RFT, who spent decades as an employer of the ARRL laboratory, has become a silent key, has died on October 10th, 2025, at the age of 4+70 after an illness. Hare was first licensed as a teenager in 1963 and was an active Hare throughout his life.
I'm Isabella from First Bottle Grove. The FCC has continued its actions against foreign-owned laboratories that test imported electronics for for sale and use in the USA. Just days before the shutdown that affected much of the US government, including the FCC, the Commission announced that the 4 laboratories, like the 11 the Commission denied in early September, were controlled by Chinese interests. That makes for a total of 15 such labs rejected so far. Administration's goal to give US-owned companies the responsibility of certifying electronics for imported and sale in the US. All approved equipment must demonstrate that it is not as a threat to US national security and must apply with the FCC standards. This move is the latest following the Commission's adoption in May of the order. At the time the order was announced, the FCC disclosed that about 75% of all electronics sold in the US are being tested by Chinese labs.
Zoe Rodriguez, a school at the Raymond School, Milwaukee, has been named the 2025 Carter Craigie N3AO Memorial Educator. The Carter Craigie N3AO Memorial Educator of the Year program funds a seat at the ARRL Teachers Institute on Wireless Technology. Zoe serves as the Science, Technology, Engineering, Arts and Maths teacher, as well as the Raymond School's Technology Integrator and Library Media Specialist. She also started a club for 3rd through 8th graders called Girls Who Code. United Kingdom. The Radio Society of Great Britain is excitedly announcing the launch of the RSGB mobile app. This fantastic members' benefits allows them to enjoy Radcom, Radcom Basics, and Radcom Plus wherever they are, complementing the RSGB's existing web app with the new mobile app. Users can save editions to read offline, bookmark articles to enjoy later, and have seamless access to extra digital content. With easy-to-use navigation, the app is the one-stop shop for RSGB publications. For our RSGB members tuned today, you can download it via the Apple app and Google Play stores, or go to rsgb.org for links. New Zealand. Call Book 2026. As Daniel ZL2DRV announced at the NZART AGM, they will be producing a hard copy call book. However, as this will be a special edition to mark their 100-year centenary, this will be sent out in February next year. So to our New Zealand listeners and viewers, please make sure you are a fully paid NZART member to ensure you get this publication next year. At this stage, Daniel ZL2DRV has yet to receive the printable information for call signs from Radio Spectrum Management. If there is something you would like to see included in this publication next year, please send it to Daniel ZL2DRV so he can include it. I'm Ethan from Second Sutherland Ventures.
Ging gang gooly 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 gooly, what you ging gang goo? Ging gang goo, ging gang gooly 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 gooly, what you ging gang goo? Ging gang goo.
From the WIA, this is the weekly national news service originating from VK1 WIA.
Worldwide Special Interest Group News, Adventure Groups. I'm Michael from Second Sutherland Armco. The VKFF National Get-Together is October 24th to the 27th, Canberra. But before that, in fact this very moment, the Worldwide Quarterly Support Your Parks weekend is happening Saturday 18th and Sunday 19th of October. This is an official Parks on the Air POTA event that encourages operators to make their way to a park and enjoy the day. Support Your Parks weekend takes place 4 times per year, winter, spring, summer and autumn. Getting started with poker can happen via one of two paths: as an activator who heads out into the parks, or as a hunter who is trying to contact someone in a park. The easiest way to participate in a poker is as a hunter. And a reminder, if you are an activator, the park must be a registered poker park with a unique number. SOTA Croatia is marking 10 years. Listen for the special call sign 9A10SOTA. The call sign is on air through to 2026, 30th of September 2026 to be precise. A certificate will be available for contacts made between the 1st of October and the 31st of December this year. QSL via LOTW. WW Special Interest Groups, Balloons. Jeff Potiger, a licensed amateur radio operator and local resident of Ohio, USA, with the help of his son Eric and grandson Matthew, also licensed amateur radio operators, recently sent a Pico balloon around the world. A Pico balloon is a small, lightweight, high-altitude balloon equipped with a radio transmitter. Hobbyists use the radio aboard to track the balloon's journey across the globe, receiving real-time telemetry data about its location, altitude, and the extreme conditions it encounters. They launched the balloon on September 13th, and recently it completed a full circumnavigation of the Earth, and it is still airborne. Telemetry from the balloon has shown it reached altitudes above 40,000 feet and temperatures as low as 40 degrees below zero. WW Special Interest Groups, Final Frontier. For the first time in Mexico's history, the National Polytechnic Institute, IPN, made a direct radio connection with the International Space Station, ISS. The educational institution reported that contact was made with the commanding astronaut of NASA and SpaceX's Crew 11 mission, who answered questions from the children and young people. The Director General of the IPN explains that the broadcast was intended to encourage the younger generation to pursue careers in the aerospace industry. The link was made possible by the Amateur Radio on the International Space Station program, an educational initiative that allows students from around the world to communicate in real time with astronauts in orbit, to spark their interest in science and technology. In another first, a first in several ways, the Namibia Scientific Society, NSS, facilitated the first ever amateur radio on the International Space Station contact with that country. The public was invited to witness the live communication event which took place at the Windhoek Afrikaans Private School. Tickets, however, were essential for attendance and were priced at 100 Namibia dollars for adults and 50 Namibia dollars for children under 18. The organisers noted that no late payments or payments on the day of the event were to be accepted. The society said for the first time in the country, local students had the opportunity to connect directly with astronauts above the International Space Station by amateur radio. As the ISS passed overhead, students asked questions live to the crew on board. This rare and historic movement brought space exploration closer to Namibia's youth and hopefully inspires new possibilities in science, technology, engineering and mathematics, STEM.
My name is Heather and I'm from 2nd Sutherland. The Birds X Dragonfly CubeSat has marked a milestone for Sri Lanka, becoming that nation's third nano-satellite in space. Developed with help from Arthur C. Clarke Institute for Modern Technologies and the Kyushu Institute of Technology in Japan, it began its orbit last month, following its launch from SpaceX 33.
Birds X has four missions.
Its mission is
the first mission is the validation of a new UHF transceiver on the satellite.
And to
the second
test
mission
a new
is an
low-cost
APRS board competition,
system.
which means that
It
teams
will
from all
also
over the world
demonstrate
are going to
relay
send
of
5
store
payloads
and
to integrate with our
forward
satellite.
Its
The
call
third
sign
mission is a ground terminal competition once the satellite is in orbit. We'll open this competition for everyone to
The
participate.
ARPS FM
And the fourth mission is a studio mission on which we decided to study and monitor volcanoes.
And its CW beacon is on 437.375. WW Special Interest Groups IOTA. Active is OX3LX from Greenland. IOTA number NA018 until the 21st of October. The station is being spotted regularly on the HF bands using FT8. QSL via Logbook of the World, Clubs Logs OQRS or via OZ0J. Listen and work J79 FJ from Dominica IOTA number NA101. J79FJ will operate CW, SSB, and maybe FT8 and will participate in the CQWW DX SSB contest with the J75A team. WW Special Interest Group's Lowdown. SAQ Grimeton to Air United Nations Day message. This October 24th, 2025, SAQ is scheduled to air a message to the world, promoting peace, unity, and global partnerships. The unique Alexanderson alternator is scheduled for one transmission only over the antenna of VLF 17.2 KHZ-CW. In 1924, the construction of Grimeton radio station in Sweden was completed and the two transmitters invented by Ernest F.W. Alexanderson was put into commercial operation. The radio station call sign was SAQ. SAQ is the only remaining pre-electronic radio transmitter that has been preserved and is still functional. WW Special Interest Group's Police. Celebrating the 70th anniversary of their organisation, members of the International Police Association's Swiss branch will be active as HB70 IPA between the 1st of November and the 31st of December. Activity will be on various HF bands and the Q0100 satellite. WW Special Interest Group's Software for Hams. Are you still running Windows 10? As of last Tuesday, October 14th, Microsoft moved the software to end-of-life status. What does that mean for you? While Windows 10 PCs will continue to work, they'll stop getting important security updates. That leaves you with three choices if you want to make sure your computer remains secure. You can choose to upgrade to Windows 11 for free if your computer is compatible. You can buy a new PC that already has Windows 11 pre-installed. Or forget about Windows 11 right now and sign up for the Extended Security Updates, ESU, which lets you kick the can down the road for a year. The last one is easy and can now be done for free in many cases. DXLook, the real-time HF propagation and reception platform used by amateur radio operators worldwide, has introduced a new feature. Personalized band conditions. This update enhances how operators understand HF propagation by tailoring band condition estimates to each user's specific grid location. Rather than relying on solely global indices, DXLook now provides location-aware predictions that consider geographic position, local time, and atmospheric conditions. Global space weather numbers are valuable, said the creator of DXLook. But what matters most to the operators is what's happening right now at their own QTH. Personalised band conditions bridge that gap.
This is VK1WIA. All points of contacts from today's news stories are to be found in print when you read the web editions www.wia.org.au.
It's a date. Clubs are welcome to email text with audio for this section. National news at wia.org.au. POTA, quarterly support your parks weekend. This weekend, the Saturday the 18th and Sunday the 19th of October. VK2, Westlakes Field Day, 8 a.m. October 26th on the club grounds. VK5, AREG's Amateur Radio and Electronics Sale, Sunday the 26th of October at David Roach Park in Kilburn. VK, the VKFF National Get-Together, October 24 to 27 in Canberra. VK4, QTech 2025, a two-day conference, Saturday the 1st and Sunday the 2nd of November at Kedron Wavell, RSL. Gold Coast Amateur Radio Society 2025, Hamfest November 9th, Country Paradise Parklands. VK7, Miena Hamfest Saturday, November the 15th, 10 a.m. VK3 Rosebud Radio Fest, Eastbourne Primary School, Rosebud, and that's on November the 16th. And finally, VK2 Picton Hamfest, November the 23rd, and that's at the Picton Showground. Get there early, 'cause gates open at 8 a.m.
Ging gang gooly 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 gooly, what you ging gang goo, ging gang goo, ging.
Your announcers this week have been Sheridan, Pippa and Isabella from First Wattle Grove Group, and Ethan, Michael and Heather from Second Sutherland Group. Your anchor was Paul, VK2GX, and producer Graham, VK4 Baker Baker. We hope you've enjoyed this special edition of WIA National News on the Jamboree of the Air weekend, brought to you from the Endeavour Bory Regatta here in Sydney at Kurnell. 73s from Paul, VK2GX, and as Graham would say, walk softly.
Courtesy of Bevan, VK5 BD's ATV and YouTube channel, this has been WIA National News. We're back now, live and local, and your voice, your callbacks. And don't forget, tick like.